Hey, what's going on, good people, teacher friends, educators around the globe? My name is Sarfo-Mensah, and I am the owner and founder of Identity Talk Consulting, LLC. And I want to provide you with the fourth and final installment of the behavior management video series. I know it's been a few days. I've been busy doing some other things, but I'm back to give you some more knowledge on behavior management. So today's topic is going to be on the power of proximity. What do I mean by proximity? Proximity is simply the act of keeping a close distance to your students as you're managing behavior. That's basically all it is in this context. So just a quick example. A lot of us, when we're in the classroom, we like to be in front of the room so that we can see all of our students. We might use the whiteboard. We might use a projector camera in order to see the whole class as we're doing our lesson, which are all great things. But a lot of the experts tell us not to stay in one place when we're teaching. We should be moving around the room as we're teaching. We should be roaming down and up the aisles to see what's going on, to see if students are on task, to see if students are understanding the lesson, to see if students are making progress with their task that they're assigned. These are all essential things that we should be doing as we're managing behavior. And sometimes there are certain students who will get off task. That's just normal at any level of education, whether it's early childhood, elementary, middle, high school, doesn't matter. You will have your share of off-task students. And sometimes you don't need to do some of those previous methods I mentioned, like the stare or the pause or the call and response. Sometimes it's just a matter of walking up to the student's desk, maybe tapping their desk to get their attention. Maybe it might be a quick whisper to redirect them. Maybe it might be a tap on the shoulder. That is if you have a relationship where you're able to do that. Just to let them know that they need to redirect their behavior. And for a lot of students, I do believe it works. But there are certain students that it might not work for, and that's fine. But it's just another method to help you manage behavior. Proximity. So my wife and I, we have a 22-month-old son. Yes, he just turned 22 months today. So he's 2 months away from 2 years old. And I tell you, he's just like his daddy. He likes to run around and touch different things that he shouldn't be touching. But he's such a great kid. But you got to keep an eye on him. The minute my wife and I turn our head to do something else, all it takes is 5 seconds. And he bolts to different parts of the room or the house, whether he's touching books, pulling things from different areas, whether it's books from the shelf, maybe it's toys from his toy bag that we've already cleaned up that he wants to reopen. Maybe it's an outlet, whatever the case may be. He's at that exploratory stage of his development where he just wants to see what's going on. He's just curious about what certain objects are, what certain items are. So it's important for my wife and I to really stay on top of that. And there are times where we do lapse and we're just preoccupied with other things that are important. But when we talk about the safety of our child, proximity is important. And we got to make sure that we do that. And it's also a great tool to use when we are walking our students in the hallways, whether it's in a line or whatever arrangement you have to transition students from one place to another. Proximity is also important because the minute students turn the corner and they don't see you around, some students will decide to get caught up in some negative behaviors that they shouldn't be doing. So you definitely want to make sure that you're keeping close to your students. Proximity. whether it's roaming up and down the aisles of your classroom, or even keeping a close distance with them as you're transitioning them from one room to another. Proximity is another important method to use, and it's definitely something you want to have in your toolbox. So that's what I have for today: proximity, the power of proximity. Keep close to your students to minimize their behavior. Oh, also, another thing you can do is, if there are certain students who you know make an effort not to engage in your lessons, when you're doing assigned seating, you want to make sure that they're closest to you. Whether it's in the front of the room, whether it's close to your desk, but you want to make sure they're at a distance where they don't have a choice but to actively engage in the lesson. So that's what I have for today: power of proximity. So if you have any comments, questions, drop them below in the comments section. And I hope to hear and interact with you all another time. But until then, peace out.